Today I want to look at verses 16 through 19 in Genesis chapter 28. Jacob has just had his dream. He has seen the angels going up and down the ladder or the stairway, and he has heard God speak to him. He saw God at the top, and God reinforced the promise. He gave him that same covenant promise that was given to Abraham, and then was given to Isaac, and now it's been given directly to Jacob. So he even introduces himself. He tells him, I'm the God of your grandfather Abraham and your father Isaac. I'm your God too. And so Jacob, when he awakes from this, naturally he has a bit of a reaction, as I think we all would. So I just want to look at a couple verses today and see how he reacts. It says, then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it. But he was also afraid and said, what an awesome place this is. It is none other than the house of God, the very gateway to heaven. The next morning Jacob got up very early. He took the stone he had rested his head against and set it upright as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil over it. He named the place Bethel, which means house of God, although it is previously called Luz. So he awakes, surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it. He's got a wrong view here. He sees God as being linked to a spot. God's not linked to a spot. David even talks about this in Psalm 139. He says, where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? The answer is nowhere. God is everywhere. He is omnipresent. Right? His spirit is all around us. There's nothing that escapes the eyes of God. So Jacob here put too much emphasis, and I think maybe even a little bit wrongly of a superstitious fashion, of this spot. It wasn't about the spot. It was about God. It was about Jacob. Now, I do like the reaction that he had in setting up a memorial pillar. Now, that was something that is done throughout the Old Testament, that they would set up rocks to memorialize something, that something important happened there. That happens when Joshua leads the Israelites across the Jordan River. They set up a pillar. They set up rocks in a fashion to remember, this is the spot we crossed. Remember what God did right here. So same thing's happening here, and he pours olive oil on it. And he named the place Bethel, which means the house of God. Now, that's interesting, because Bethel will become a city, and it's one of the more important cities in the nation of Israel. It's mentioned in the Bible. Only place mentioned more times is Jerusalem. Bethel's second. So it will also be a place that eventually the worship of God will become perverted, and it will be a high place where the Israelite nation will worship idols and all these different things. But in this moment, it was the spot where Jacob met God, and he wanted to remember it. But the thing he needed to remember more than anything else was not this spot, but the fact that his God was with him. Everywhere he went, God was present. And we have that same promise. See you tomorrow.